Welcome. This is a short guide into the new features and changes between Motive 1.8 and 1.9. Let's get started. One of the new core features in Motive 1.9 is the use of the new Point Cloud 4.0 engine. It offers increased performance and accuracy for your reconstructions and is on by default. If needed, it can be changed in the camera pane. Another big new feature for some users is the integration of support for AMTI force plates. This also comes with quite a few new default marker sets. The Biomech and Legacy marker sets will likely be familiar to biomechanics users. For users less interested in biomechanics, we also have two new native Motive marker sets. As a highly requested feature from our users, we now support the ability to add and remove markers from already created rigid bodies. As an example, to add or remove markers from a rigid body, just click the pivot point of a rigid body, then select a marker. If this marker is not already associated with the rigid body, right-click, then go to Rigid Body, Add Selected Marker to Rigid Body. You may now set the rigid body and skeleton creation defaults. This can be done in the Application Settings, Rigid Body, and Skeleton panes. It is very important to note that we have moved the property settings for skeletons and rigid bodies to the project pane for this release. To change the settings of an asset, just click the asset in the viewport or the project pane, then edit the settings at the bottom of the project pane. We now have both customizable mouse controls and keyboard hotkeys. It is important to note that a couple hotkeys have been updated. Zoom to fit all is now Shift F, and Follow Selected is now G. We also have a new labeling pane. You can use it to manually label marker sets or to swap mislabeled markers. It is important to note that we have changed the way that the graphs appear in the combined view mode. It now separates the X, Y, and Z data out into three locations, placing the X, Y, and Z data at the current frame at the intersection of the current time and three horizontal lines. We have improved the way settings persist. For most settings, if you set it once, you should expect it to be the same during your next session of Motive. If you ever get stuck, remember that you can always reset application defaults in the Edit menu at the top of Motive. Finally, for those of you with specialty volumes for measurement, we now support the new Micron series wands for even more accurate calibrations.